I'm sorry. Our camera operator just made me laugh very, very hard. Thank you, Owen. Welcome to A Filthy Talk, Filthy Lots weekly live panel discussion show. What's happening? Oh, we're all good. Okay. Now people are shouting at me from off camera. We're off to an excellent start today, which is great. Where was I? Filthy Talk.
A Filthy Lots weekly.
Yeah. Live panel discussion show. Yeah. My usual spiel?
No.
That's all I was doing? Okay. We're coming to you live from North Vancouver on the traditional lands of the Squamish Nation. We are happy to recognize the privilege to work, play, create on these beautiful lands. We love it here. And we ask you what traditional lands you're watching from. And if you don't know, look it up. Oh man, I should have written that down. On Tuesday, someone in our chat for our One Shot or Not game commented a link to look up like the land you're on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh damn, that's awesome.
I think last time Ash was fact checking. She shared a link in our chat.
Oh, fantastic. Matt, if you wouldn't mind finding a link for people. Oh, sorry, I'm Trevor Gemma. This is Roz Young. And returning as fact checker, chat liaison, moderator, and today also our bartender, Matt Baker.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind throwing one of those in the chat for people.
Sure.
Oh, never mind. Crashes to Ashes is already on it. I got a chat open today, and you'll see why later. But first off the top, nerd news.
Nerd news. You've already been bringing the big nerd news for the last few weeks on Filthy Talk.
Yeah, I mean, for months out, I've kind of talked about it, and it finally happened over the last weekend, was E3. It was all digital. It was hits and misses.
Sounds like more misses?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There wasn't, like, yeah. I wasn't super impressed with their...
But some big news.
Some big news. What was your favorite game like that you weren't expecting?
Tiny Tina's Wonderland!
Oh, yeah, that looks pretty cool.
I'm so excited.
From
if you
Gearbox.
played, Borderlands 3 at the end, there's DLC stuff, Dungeons & Dragons style running around, and Tiny Tina is being her explosive, crazy self.
Now there's a whole
Ashley
game.
Birch will be back to voice Tiny Tina again in the next one, so fans of Ashley Birch, rest easy. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And so really excited to play more of that.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, just how D&D it is. Like, is it going to be very...
You gotta play
Like the classes? Yeah.
Play the DLC
Yeah.
so you can get... You'll just be like, yes, amazing. It has classes. It's
The
just,
DLC is surprisingly D&D-ish.
Is it?
Yeah, and that's just not even built to be that. That's just DLC from Borderlands.
Oh, wow.
So
it's probably just more of that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have not played that, so I'll check that out. You just reminded me of it. I forgot about it. Thank you for reminding me, but there's a game coming out called Redfall that is like it looks like there's been like a vampire apocalypse, and it's like 4-player co-op, and like some of the people have like crazy powers, like it looks like the sniper guy can teleport, and there's a lady who's got like, she can create this like purple stuff that like elevators people
Like
up to
portal.
roofs. Like,
Movement stuff.
yeah.
Super cool.
It looks so cool. It
Redfall.
looks like Redfall? What did I say?
Redfall. All one word.
Redfall.
Redfall.
Not Redfall. Redfall?
Redfall.
Redfall. You gotta say it
Redfall.
fast. Redfall. Like Red Bull.
But it's
You ever
from
Red
the same. It's from Arcane Studios. So.
Oh, okay.
Did you play Prey when Alex was letting us all know how amazing
Bull?
it was?
I did not.
Well, I did, and it was amazing.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, Redfall looks really cool. The thing that was really cool was that Xbox is bringing out, like they announced 30 games, some of which we knew about, some of which we didn't, but the fact that 27 of them are going to be available through Xbox Game Pass
Wild.
is, I think I haven't signed up yet. I'm probably now going to sign up for Game
On
Pass.
like day one, a bunch of them.
Yeah, day one it releases of a bunch of stuff that's available on Game Pass. So that they really are pushing the lead for video game subscription services. Like they are not playing the same game of exclusive content. They are like, we want your money every month.
I mean, I'm gonna play the games on PC because I don't really Xbox that much. But Contraband, Matt.
You reminded me of Game Pass. I just want to point out that, was it Backbone? Is that the name?
Backbone?
Backbone. It's a game by some local developers. It's this cool raccoon sci-fi film noir point-and-click adventure kind of thing. Roz has been streaming it a little bit, but it is available on Game Pass. So
Yeah.
if you have Game Pass, check it out.
Oh, amazing. I was getting it through Steam and a couple people playing. O'Brien like came into the end of one of my streams and was like, "This looks cool," and then I was like, "Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming." He's like, "Oh," but I was telling him, "Don't watch too much if you think you're gonna play because there's puzzles and stuff."
Oh,
right?
yeah,
So you don't
yeah.
wanna have all the
Spoilers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of those games that you either play it or watch it.
Yeah.
So I have to talk about this one thing, because I didn't watch Monday, Tuesday coverage from E3, but I watched it on Twitch on Saturday, Sunday. I watched almost the entire broadcast from like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was doing other stuff, but I just had it on and like on a separate screen and stuff. I was going crazy. But okay, Ubisoft, they had a 2-hour slot, and they filled the first hour of that slot with this video that did nothing. It was just. It started with like, it looked like footage from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but it's a guy just like slowly walking, and you're like, crunch, 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 crunch. And he's just walking towards something in the distance for like 10 minutes. Just slowly walking. People on horses like rode by, and then he's just walking slowly. And like the chat was explosive and toxic. But I commented in there, like as soon as I saw it, I was like, what is this, a walking simulator? And then other people started jumping on that train. And then it went from walking to like a plane flying to like someone on a standing on a drone flying through a cityscape. But it was always just like the same right behind it perspective, traveling in a straight line slowly for like 5 to 10 minutes at a time. And it went from
Traveling in a straight line slowly, the game.
oh my god, it
Coming
was
to you
awful, but it was
now.
like someone walking, it was someone standing on a drone, it was a plane flying in like a poorly rendered environment, it was a car driving through a city, a taxi. It was it just kept going through different mediums of something for a freaking hour. It was awful. It was such a train wreck.
Speaking of cars, though,
Yeah.
Forza.
Yeah, Forza Horizon 5. Oh, it's gonna be good.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, I've seen that building.
Oh.
Yeah, in Mexico, it was in the trailer. There's one church that's there, and I'm like, I've seen the church that they based that on.
Oh, cool.
It's exactly like it.
I haven't really ever played a Forza game, but that looked so pretty that I was thinking about getting back into driving sims.
I've only played Horizon 4 because I'm not good at racing games. I really like them, but I play them for 5 hours, get frustrated, and move on. But I played Horizon 4 for like a week, which is huge for me.
That's huge. That's like that's impressive. Okay, we've been
Right, yeah, we've
been
been
going
doing
on and
it.
on about E3. We were almost going to do a separate broadcast. It didn't happen, but we have a lot to say about video games. But
Next time.
let's get into what we're here for, because there's some people waiting off stage to come and join us. So
Excellent people.
let's bring them up.
Do it.
So first to the stage, you've seen her before, and she's coming back here. This is the one who keeps us all in line around here. Natasha Wen, please join us on stage. Woo! Sorry it took so long, we're running behind.
You've seen her eat butter on Baking the Drag.
Yeah, it's true.
right.
Yeah,
I've forgotten most of that.
that was great. Yes, that's how that show went.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually the guests forget what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot most of what happened until I saw it.
Yeah, the guests forget, but then all of the internet will remember for you. Yeah, that's good.
And also joining us for the first time on the show, our resident chef. You've seen him before as a DM, but it's his first time on a Filthy Talk. Chef Cargs, Sam Cornelli. Come on out, sir. Oh, no, he got stage fright. He decided not to join us. No, I'm kidding. Here he comes.
You can't come empty-handed.
Sam.
But so many do.
Natasha.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Natasha.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So we have a little amuse
And this is
bouche for
Andrew. You
you.
saw him
Wow.
recently. Is this, sorry, did you just use the term amuse-bouche?
Yes.
You did. So
Thank
fancy.
Didn't
you.
hear that, but it's
start
exactly
things.
what I was thinking looking at this.
They're like,
So
what the hell
snack
are
for
you?
you, a handmade cracker. We're starting off on the base there with a hazelnut cracker with a little bit of cranberry, bunch of other seeds and nuts in there, followed by a cork and honey mixture with a little bit of champagne for the mousse there. And then you've got a smoked duck breast. So I took black tea, smoked the duck breast, a cold smoke, gave it a quick sear, finished it off, and then it's got fiddleheads, toasted hazelnuts, pickled grapes, and then some edible flowers as well.
Edible flowers. I don't think that I've ever, while sober, eaten a flower before.
That's
But I'm going to try it.
It has
Thanks,
a nice
Sam.
little peppery element to it. Yeah,
That's
enjoy.
great.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much.
This is
This is
super fancy.
amazing.
Oh, hello, brother.
Hello. There's been a lighting change.
Oh, okay. Oh, like a redemption? Wait, like
Okay.
someone redeemed lighting change? Yep. Oh, nice. Right on. Okay.
Well, cheers.
Now it
Cheers.
feels rude to eat
Thank
in
you
front
for
of you,
having
but
me.
thanks,
Thank
Katie.
you.
Thank you.
I don't know which end to start from. Oh, wow.
Funny story, I won't mention names, but someone recently brought a lovely gift of someone's birthday. They brought baked goods, and so they covered them with decorative flowers. And this is why it's really important to check whether your decorative flowers actually are edible, because they weren't. And then I looked it up, and it was just horrific. Some of the things that could happen. I'm assuming if you ate a lot of the flowers, but like sores in your mouth opening up, trouble breathing,
Oh my
going
God.
unconscious. So, buttercups, don't put them on your food. They're poisonous.
Buttercups?
Buttercups. Sound like butter, very misleading, poisonous.
Thank you for not taking a bite at the same time as us. Because as soon as I took a bite and we were all doing it, I went, well, we probably shouldn't have done this simultaneously. So thank you for that.
Smart. Yeah, the only thing to consider is that there are fiddleheads on here, so you want to make sure that you blanch them for 15 minutes before you eat them. So that will remove all the stuff that will make your stomach not feel so good.
Oh.
And then give them a quick sear or whatever you want to do after that. Once you've blanched them, that's putting them in boiling water for 15 minutes.
So
Safe to eat.
fiddleheads, I've seen fiddleheads growing wild here.
Yeah.
Have you ever just picked them and eaten them? Like not straight, obviously doing,
Yeah.
treating them
Again,
properly.
yeah, they're great for foraging. Between all the various roots and berries and things that the West Coast has to offer, foraging is great out here.
Oh, crap.
It's really
the
tasty.
thing.
Thank
Keep
you so
talking.
much.
Yeah, you're most
It's
welcome.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, like I tried to like hit everything so you get that really light smoke flavor, a little bit of the sweetness comes in, and then you get like the tartness from the cork. So it just all kind of balances out. It's a great way to liven up your palate right before you go.
Oh man.
Where are we going?
Yeah,
are we
I mean, restaurants and bars are starting to open up again. That's great news.
Yeah.
Especially for like the food industry, it's been hit really, really hard over this pandemic.
Oh,
so being able to have people back in the restaurant, huge. Like it's going to really help to save our bacon.
So one of the closures that I heard about that was the most depressing to me during this pandemic was the original location. In Vancouver, we have a place called the Storm Crow Tavern. We had. It's now closed. They opened a second location called the Storm Crow Ale House, and they also have the Storm Crow Manor across the country in, I believe,
In
Toronto.
Toronto, yeah, on Church Street.
But, so we still have I just bit my lip. We still have
facts.
the ale house here, but the tavern is now permanently closed, which sucks because it was the original. And where did you used to work?
Both. So I originally opened up the Ale House on Broadway.
Oh.
So back when they were getting that together and beginning the open, taking it over from the Donnelly Group, I believe. We had a massive renovation, had to rip everything out. That place was absolutely infested. And got everything going, fixed up the kitchen. Health inspector comes in, is like, I don't like the floor, so I had to redo the floor too.
Oh, man.
But a full reno, turned it into an incredible space, full-on nerd bar. I mean, you just look at the walls, it's full of memorabilia.
Yeah.
A lot of really good people there. Some of my best friends that I still know today and play D&D with, all of them I met there at the Storm Crow. So it was great. I also worked at the tavern for a little bit. It's the best. It's for the best that they closed it down. I mean, it's a very old building, not maintained well by the landlord, so it was a struggle to ever do anything. And then that lineup, right? Like you spend like 3-4 hours some nights waiting to get in there, and that's just crazy. So like
It was a very small location.
it's small, but the concept, that's what brought everyone in there. I mean, Elijah Wood would come in and watch Game of Thrones nights. Those were absolutely legendary there.
That's awesome.
We'd spend our whole Sunday, just 2 sittings, constant work. It was just madness, but it was a lot of fun too.
Weirdly, I don't think I've ever talked about this on the show before, but I used to work at a place close by to the original tavern, and I knew that it was going to be opening, and I was going by, they had like a post in the window that said the day that they were going to be finally opening for the first time and what time. And I went there just after work, and I think I was their second customer. I was like, has anyone been in yet? They're like, yeah, someone came in. I was like, damn it. So I just had a beer and left just so I could say I was one of the first customers. But yeah, I've been going to that place for a long time. And sorry, I just said it's a Stormcrow Tavern. It's a nerd bar. It's got all sorts of crazy nerd paraphernalia all over the walls. There's a big shelf full of board games that you can just pick from, bring to your table, play, return when you're done.
Please return them.
Yeah, please return them. Some of them have all their pieces.
Ordering
Some
spare
of them
parts
don't.
is expensive and weird.
Oh yeah, super weird. I need just this one token from this
Yeah.
game. That would be very weird.
Can't play without it.
So, Nerd Bar. I think
Yes.
that's kind of what we wanted to talk about today is food in pop culture, but particularly fantasy, science fiction, and all the stuff that we love here, like all of our cool toys.
We have a redemption of Ask Us Almost Anything.
Oh yes, thank you.
Who would win in a? It's from JDabs1.
Oh,
Who
hey, Johnny.
would win in a fight, Taco Cat or Pizza Cat?
I'm gonna have to go with Pizza Cat.
Pizza Cat can throw hot oil because
Yeah.
pizzas can get kind of oily. So you know that's a war weapon.
But you gotta
hot
account for
oil.
the shrapnel that Taco Cat can create
Yep.
with those hard shell tacos.
Oh, just
Yeah, have you bitten into a hard shell taco
Little-
and gotten it into your gums? That's deadly.
I don't know.
Deadly.
My money's on Pizza Cat. Yeah, so that's a 50-50 split. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Taco Cat has hot sauce.
Way to sit on the fence.
Well, you're the tiebreaker, man. Be the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I don't know who either of them are, but I would say that pizza burns are worse than taco gums.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going with Pizza Cat.
Pizza Cat. All right, Pizza Cat for victory. I'm taking it.
Right?
Important work was done here today, everyone.
Oh no, wait. I'm showing this. This is blocking this. This is Pizza Cat. Yeah.
Speaking of fantasy meals, I love this amuse-bouche, and it reminds me of something that I would, coming through the forest, long adventure, and then old Tom Bombadil comes up and he's like, "Look what I have found from all my bounty in the forest." And
But what would Tom Bombadil be without his wife Goldberry?
his wife Goldberry. Okay, so when I read a fantasy book or just a book, I'm always like, but what are they eating though? And like, please describe. So it's always she had honey, and I don't remember 90% of what happened in Lord of the Rings because there was a lot of walking, but then I do remember,
Walking the game.
Oh yeah.
right?
Coming from Ubisoft.
but I do remember
New
them
Lord of the Rings
describing
game.
like the freshly churned butter and then
Nobel.
on the honey on the bread, I was like, give this to me now.
Even when they're on the road and they're eating like hardtack and sausages and cheese, things like that,
Yep.
or apples.
It all sounds great. When they describe it, sounds great. Give me an apple for lunch, I'm like, But
You know, when you
in
like read
this
those
setting-
passages, you can just smell like off the book a little bit, and like that memory takes you back. Yeah.
Yep.
When you guys were designing things for Stormcrow to be like nerd food, did you go directly from source material recipe stuff, like things they would say in the book? Or were you taking suggestions from people of, this thing I've heard about in Star Trek once, make up a recipe that goes with it?
Yeah, it was mostly make it up, figure out what to do. I mean, how do you replicate a pan-galactic gargle blaster?
Yeah.
Which is incredible drink that will knock you off your feet at the Stormcrow.
Sounds like
But
Listerine.
it's been through like several iterations, because it can be really, really potent, but does it taste really good? Are you gonna order another one?
Yeah.
And then we tried to do the gold brick that goes with it for a little while, and
There was a venue in Ottawa called Zephod Beeblebrox, and
Oh nice.
they Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster was their drink of choice there, of course.
I don't know about drinking anything that has the word gargle in it. That makes me think I'd want to spit it back out. So, but
Oh, that's fair.
Yep.
I mean,
that pretty much describes
yeah.
a Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster.
Yeah. I think I
Then
only
a
ever
good
ordered
name.
one.
Speaking of drinks, I don't know if we talked about a timing of this, but
Oh yeah, we didn't exactly pair it, did we?
right, because kind of working with Sam, and I guess you guys would have done this at the bar, but Matt kind of had an idea of what you were making, and you guys sort of touched base, but he thought he would do a cocktail to go with it, and I'm assuming you guys did a bunch of both.
yeah, I mean, this, the cocktail that Matt's making for us pairs really nicely, because that apple flavor really goes well with the duck and kind of brings in things. So you've cleansed your palate really nicely, so that if you've waited, when you taste the cocktail, you'll get that full experience from it.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like we had to do a lot of that at the Storm Crow too. So like, it's hard when you're trying to like have a food program and a drink program, and then you have a bunch of nerds that are coming in. They're like, I just want the Romulan ale. Like, how can you blame them for that? But yeah,
fair.
and
I mean, you can blame them. It's okay.
I mean, they were after the war with the Dominion and the Romulans were all coming in. It's totally fine. It's back in the Federation. Great.
Well, we'll see what happens in the next season of Picard.
Time shenanigans. That was last week.
Last week was time.
They just released the trailer for season 2.
Yeah.
I just
Like
saw
an
a promo
actual
of it.
trailer, not the teaser, the Q teaser.
I don't know.
No, this is the full trailer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, sweet.
And it came out on Card Day, so you know he's a role model.
So, okay, I have a random question. I have a bunch of questions written down, but one of them that just popped in is from what like series or movie or like IP, in all of your opinions, has their use of food has either made you crave food the most or has been the most memorable from like movies, TVs, video games, whatever?
Oh god.
I mean, Lord of the Rings, Tolkien was a master of explaining that, but we've touched on that. If you want to touch on other media, I mean, it's got to be anime. Like, you look at like those perfect bowl of ramens, those sears on those pieces of meat that just look too good to be real, because they kind of are, but
Yeah.
holy smokes, they are absolutely incredible. If you want to take a runaway hit, it's got to be anime
Like
and
in,
manga.
like in the Pokemon games where, you know, you have to like make curry and do these cute things and then feed them to your Pokemon.
Yeah, you know, just a little Taurus meat.
Yes.
Bulk up.
Spirited Away had like beautiful
Oh,
food
yeah.
until it turns you
Ghibli.
into a pig, which is unfortunate. But up until that point, I was like, that looks great.
Some
Yeah.
prices are worth paying.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know if you want to jump in, but I would go Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was going to say
Yeah.
Harry Potter. I'm kind of debating between Harry Potter and Willy Wonka. But, well, really, like Willy Wonka, like, even just that opening sequence, like the original, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or no, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Gene Wilder one. That opening sequence with chocolate being made, I can't not crave chocolate watching that. But Harry Potter, like some of the most creative use of. You're finding this really distracting, hey?
I'm watching Matt shake the cocktail. Watching Matt shake a cocktail has always distracted me.
I'm sorry.
Have you been to
Oh,
the
do
Charlie
tell us
Chocolate Factory in BC?
Charlie's Chocolate Factory?
Yeah, so
I'm a local. I grew up
in
here,
Burnaby.
so I've been to Charlie's many times. They have a chocolate river. It's
so
amazing.
Good. It's amazing.
I'm going to plug it because it is a local store. So if you are in Vancouver and you've never been, it's just the one and only. He's like a little old man. He's adorable. He still wears the like signature outfit and like stands outside. But it's called Charlie's Chocolate Factory. It's just off Boundary. It's technically in Burnaby. It's
Yeah, in Canada Way. Yeah,
amazing chocolate. Yeah, Canada Way and Boundary.
Game of Thrones brought me out of the storytelling. Sometimes when George R.R. Martin would go into the food of the world.
Like in the novels?
Yeah, in the novels.
Okay.
I would just get really bored with it. Sometimes it was like the perspective of the particular character. You know, if it's the guard number 4, who sometimes sees what the sand snakes are eating, and you know, waxing poetic about food, but not in a way of enjoying it. You know, just in a way of like, well, this is the food of our land. And then, you know, several pages later, I'm like, really? I think we can just move on from here. Let's just find out what wine Cersei is drinking again and move on.
I'm not so much if I see it on screen, it doesn't really interest me. It's more if I read it. So I have a strange symbiotic relationship between detective novels, British detective novels, and drinking tea. So if I'm drinking tea, I need to be reading a British detective novel. If I'm reading a British detective novel, I can just drink endless cups of tea and then just be very on edge because I'm so caffeinated.
I almost never drink tea, but when I'm watching like Star Trek: The Next Generation, Picard makes me want to drink tea. Like,
Interesting.
it's such a weird thing. I'm just like, I want tea now.
Yeah.
Whenever I
Tea,
watch,
very hot.
Yeah.
Do you know how many
Archer.
people would order that at the Storm Crow?
yeah,
We just bring them a little teapot, yeah.
Archer made me want to try new cocktails. That if he mentions one that I haven't done yet, then it's like
yeah.
yes.
Conversely, like think about like gross food that you get described in books.
Denethor.
Oh,
Lord of the
That
Rings.
scene is iconic. I mean, I hate chewing noises, a little bit of that misophonia, and it's just it ingrates, and like everything else can be going on in the world, but someone's chewing, just like zero in and be like, you need to stop. No.
They want to stab a fork in their eye.
Yeah. Yeah. I
There
have
was,
the people close to me trained so that if they're chewing, and I'll just slightly turn my head in their direction, and they'll know. They'll know why I'm turning my head. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like,
But
don't
like,
you
yeah,
dare.
taking like other gross foods, like I don't know if you know Brandon Sanderson, but he's got
Yes.
a cosmere of books that are absolutely incredible. And in the Stormlight Archives, you have like these soul casters that take stone and turn it into grain. And then they describe how the taste is just not right. Like it doesn't taste
Very
good.
earthy.
But I mean, if you've got to feed an army who's out on like on a forced march, that's kind of all you got, because you can't just pick crops as you're going with an army, right? But you can soul cast stone into this awful soul cast grain, and it's just gritty and not very nice.
So I wonder if, because like you're saying, Martin doesn't describe food very well in a way that you find appealing.
It didn't hit for me.
it comes
So-
from like, yeah, it comes from someone that doesn't know how to make it.
Well, that's what is leading me to a thing, and I wonder if it's someone who doesn't really appreciate food, and leads me to a question that I want to say thank you to Jamie for helping me come up with a bunch of questions. You had a crazy amount of them, and I wasn't thinking that many. So thanks. Food, experiential or fuel?
Experiential and fuel, but mostly experiential.
Yeah, like do you, if you could eat a paste that gave you all the nutrients, would you just eat that and not worry
No,
about
God,
having
no. I mean, I know what my projected old grandma self is going to look like, and it's spherical. So, don't worry, I'm prepared. Well aware.
I like that. I probably will be too. Very much so.
It's hard not to be when you're cooking all the time.
It feels like a stupid question to even ask you.
It's both, honestly.
Really?
Well, like when you've got a busy day in front of you, especially when you're cooking all day, I mean, my go-to is oatmeal right now because it's quick and easy and it's gonna last me. I'm not gonna have to snack throughout the day.
Sustains.
Sustained.
What?
But then we get to lunchtime and I can just really enjoy the food that I've made or someone else has made for me, and really focus in on why it's good. And like when you're a chef, you're trying to taste that food not only for what it represents, but how could it also be better? What is that sensation it's giving you? What kind of experience is that giving you? How do you replicate that? Do you want to replicate that?
Question, is oatmeal just gruel?
Not if you make it right.
But no, like, you know how in fantasy books, etc., they describe it as like, oh, gruel.
It can be a combination, any sort of like grain. Often it can just be wheat and water or some sort of fat or oil.
Okay.
I always wondered
So
about that.
we have a redemption, which I forgot to set them up earlier. But yeah, there's some mystery boxes on the back table here, numbered 1 through 4, and they contain food. And we have had a redemption for number 3. So now, Roz or Natasha, if someone would mind opening up box number 3, and we're gonna eat what's inside. I'm just gonna grab it.
This is very
Yeah, we
exciting.
got hand sanitizer. We can pass it around.
Yes.
I know that one of the things that Matt and I love, because Matt cooks way more than I do. I like to bake and he likes to cook, but
Thanks, Capri.
Ratatouille, you know, the way that food is described and experienced. In that,
Oh
in
yeah, that movie
animated film.
totally made me. Oh man.
That was exactly what you're trying to achieve. Like that memory bringing you back to childhood of your mother's cooking. That is the absolute ultimate goal for any cook, any chef out there, to try and recreate that, because it's all different for everyone.
Speaking of, oh wow, it's too late. I was gonna say there was someone in the chat that that wanted 2 minutes of just solid cam on Matt while he was making drinks.
Not a great idea.
Oh, you want to head?
So shady. Someone should help me.
I got you, brother.
While this happens, I would just like to come back to a story about gruel, because it's a good
Thank
topic.
You bring the hottest goss, Natasha.
Thank you very much.
What's going on with gruel these
Is there
days?
gruel
So-
in the box? Like,
No,
is that
no,
possible?
there's not gruel in the box. It appears to be Russian wafer cakes of an orange and vanilla flavor. But so I used to eat porridge every morning with my mom, and
sir.
sometimes I wouldn't finish all my porridge despite her urging. And then there would just be this accumulating mass of porridge, day after day in the fridge, and she hates throwing anything out. So one day she decided that she would make bread out of this porridge. And she's like, it's the same thing. This is what sourdough is. And I'm like, I don't think that's what it is. And she's like, it's fine. We'll just press it together, bake it, and this is sourdough. And she added a bit more flour, and that was the worst lunch I've ever had. So sometimes you're not trying to emulate she's a good cook, but sometimes she gets too creative. But sometimes you're like, memories of childhood, gruel baked into bread for lunch. And you're thinking, no, I don't want to go back.
Keep the smoked
to that
paprika
place.
away from my dad.
I wanted to ask you guys what your go-to comfort foods are, but we should deal with this redemption. Now, we have these drinks from Matt. Do we want to do the random food redemption first?
Taste the drink first.
Taste the drink first?
I'm patiently waiting for a drink so I could pair them.
Okay. Oh, yeah, well, the flavor's still in our mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will get right to the redemption Capri, but we're going to taste Matt. So what have you made us?
This is an apple brandy sidecar. Sidecar's not super fantasy, so I was thinking calling it a magic carpet. But it's inspired by some of our stuff that we've done in Altero. When Ready to Roll, when you get to see that, the character I play drinks a fair amount of apple brandy.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. And in the Shadows of Blood that we're doing, the area that we're in specializes in apple brandy as well.
Nice.
So I wanted to do that. Sidecar's normally cognac. But we got some local apple brandy from the Okanagan. And some local bitters, General Ambrose. And this is what brings it all together. You should always have bitters in your cocktails. If you've never tried it, you really should. Apothecary is local to Vancouver, I believe, or BC at least. And the General Ambrose is our favorite one. It's got a lot of baking spice and, there's like cinnamon and got like allspice and nutmeg. It's quite rich. And so you just put a little bit in and it gives that extra little bit of spiciness that, makes me think of kind of like fantasy food, and the cinnamon goes nicely with apple stuff. Yeah, and Sidecar is just a great classic cocktail, but this is the Altero Magic Carpet.
Well, cheers.
This
Cheers.
is so excellent. Oh no.
Oh, you already? Oh, you're right.
I've already been drinking.
I understand.
Ching.
Cheers. Cheers. You know, if you don't look someone in the eye
Oh, man.
when you cheers, it means 7 years bad sex. So
Oh no.
Bad
good luck.
sex?
Yeah,
That
That's
explains a lot.
much worse than
7 years.
So much worse than bad luck. Oh no.
That,
I mean, you need the luck to get the sex. So if you break a mirror and then cheers without looking someone in the eye.
your life is ruined.
I mean, also, you have to, do you need to touch glasses? Is that part of a thing?
I mean, I think as long as you very intensely hold eye contact and raise your glass. The other day I accidentally decided to cheers with bowls of soup. I don't know why. But it kind of worked.
This
and
is
I
really
think
good,
it's
Matt.
a new tradition I'm starting.
So what you're trying to say is it's a super way of doing things.
Oh.
Very nice.
Oh, jeez.
Very nice.
This
I
is
don't know.
delicious.
Stew on that, by the way.
I think this does pair well with the amuse-bouche we had.
Yeah, and notice there's waves of flavor too, so it really opens up. So you after the first sip and the aroma comes in, the bouquet, and then as you're sipping through it, that tartness hits the back of your throat.
Yeah,
and you just get
delicious.
a full mouth experience. It's really well done.
It's really good.
I also noticed that there was a lot going on with what you made. That was not just food for fuel. That was an
That's an
experience.
experience.
There was a lot of complementary flavors there.
So strange Russian wafer thing.
Russian wafers. Oh, he's made of vodka?
My grandma has many of these, but they have hazelnut filling there.
Yeah, I mean, these look
Orange hazelnut
familiar.
goes together.
While
thank
we're
you, Natasha.
talking about that, Ryan, a long time ago, didn't redeem any points, so I didn't bring it up, but was asking Natasha what German foods do you wish were more available or better in Canada?
Oh, good question.
Ooh, which ones were better in Canada?
Well, that you wish were better, maybe you
Yes.
can find it, but it's not great.
Okay, so
Good question.
instant answer. You go to the Christmas markets. That's pretty much where you're going to find German food in Canada. and they will give you a sausage on a bun, but the buns are terrible. Terrible. And it's very important to have good buns. And in Germany, that's not a comment on anyone's body. That's just food related. And so it has to be your buns crispy on the outside, and then of course soft on the inside. And I find, probably because it's in the evening, later in the day, they're kind of like meh. And you put it in plastic, which is not great. It loses the crispness. So in Germany, one of my favorite things is breakfast, because you have the buns traditionally for breakfast, or if you're fancy, and
if you're fancy?
yeah, Brötchen.
Buns, ooh la la.
Yeah, but bread is pretty much every mealtime in Germany. So there's Abendbrot, which is just evening bread.
Oh, what's different about it?
That's where you
got,
get your
like,
seedy,
makeup on?
your dark and seedy bread, because it's the evening, and then So traditionally,
Noir bread.
the noir bread,
It
exactly.
smokes.
Yeah. It's just like,
It's gonna sneak
I mean,
up
we
in a
could
back
ask-
alley, sneak attack you.
So yeah, in the morning you have your Brötchen, or some people have bread or whatever, and your croissants and all that kind of stuff, and then in the middle of the day is your main meal. So you have your like cooked whatever meal, and the evening you'd have again bread, Abendbrot, and it's super easy. End of day, come home, put some stuff on a bread. There you go.
And you know why it's also better over there is that the flour is different.
The what?
The flour is different.
Oh.
So the flour we use over here, typically like a wintering wheat, very hard, because Canadian winters are terrible,
Yeah.
and all sorts of things. It's so different from the bread you get over there, because the wheat they use and like the pasta from like Italy is like 00 flour, and the 00 flour you get here is just glommy. You don't get this like silky texture to your dough. So that also plays into why our bread is not quite as good.
Oh, I never knew that.
These Russian wafers are
I
totally
have
safe.
heard the
and fine.
opposite. We know many people who have moved to
I have a
Europe
friend in
and get
Scotland,
their
yeah.
flour shipped from Canada because the bread doesn't turn out right there.
Yeah, you have to adjust your recipe, everything. It's so different.
Canadian flour has like higher gluten, so it's
Yeah,
makes
more
better
protein
bread.
content in it.
Oh. Well, it's also baking at different elevations makes for different
That too.
recipe
And different
requirements.
yeasts, and there's bread's alive.
Yeah.
Like every time I make it, please turn out for me.
I find these wafers, I mean, I'm not really a wafer person. There's something about the thin wafer part. It's a little bit, not cardboard, but there's dry.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, ugh. It's just a
A
bit
little bit of
sawdusty.
styrofoam.
Yeah. They're
But the
it tastes cheap.
citrusy flavor is nice.
They taste cheap. Like
Yeah.
I've always found that wafers taste like fake. It's like toy food.
Well, here's the real question: can you grow oranges in Russia?
Maybe like Georgia, like some of the areas that are maybe more southern or closer
Oh.
to the Middle East,
I have no
or
idea.
closer to China.
It's a big country for a reason, but yeah, interesting.
Probably.
I would guess no.
But wafers are supposed to be dry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. This tastes just like a bunch of other wafers I've had before. This was not that big of a. This was a pretty safe mystery box. I was expecting something weird and making me do faces and stuff. But
Oh, like on Keddy's Kitchen when you get weird things. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the cocktail goes really nice after it, though.
So a question I'm curious about is, as the seasons change, as it's really hot here today, which is why we have fans and stuff, and I'm glistening on camera.
You're always glistening.
Oh, thanks. As the seasons change, like when it gets hot or when it gets cold or when it's autumn, are there any seasonal foods that, like, as the weather changes, you have to have?
Yeah, as soon as summer is over and fall hits, I want my mom's hamburger soup like immediately.
Hamburger soup.
Yeah, it's what we grew up with. It's one of the things she's very good at making. Yeah,
Nice.
it's just nostalgic. Like as soon as late September, early October, that like chill wind comes in, I need mom's hamburger soup.
We have a question redemption
Oh,
from
okay.
Kevin,
I want to go back to this one because I'm curious.
who would like to know if anyone here would eat ballot. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Oh, ballot.
Fertilized duck eggs.
Balat, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. The crunch is what really gets me.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, back in culinary school, we got to try a whole bunch of weird shit.
That's fair. I've smelt it, And that's a
Sulfury.
pass. It's going to be a pass for
very
me, dog.
sulfurous.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the flavor is really interesting because like you get like a lot of that umami flavor. So like if you like take a like soy sauce or MSG or things like that, or Parmesan cheese, you get that extra like oomph factor.
Yeah.
That's what it has. But
Okay.
you just got to get past the like I'm
The
eating
fact
a
that
duck
it's a
embryo. This is
semi-formed
really weird.
Processed like bird that you can see the detail of.
You can see the details.
Yeah,
Yep.
super
yep.
gross.
You know, it's like plain fable. You get the crunchy chick.
Yeah. It is just like that.
Yep.
Although reality checks in food are always good. You know, this is what you're eating.
It's it's not bad. I wouldn't actively go and eat it, but if it was offered to me, I'd be able to eat it.
You must have to eat a lot of weird stuff when you're a chef.
Yeah, I mean, back in culinary school, Chef Don must have found like the largest oysters he could possibly find for our class to try, and they were just so gross.
No.
When they're big, like they're chewy, and like they're not great raw, and like it takes a lot to eat them.
Yeah, I'm not a
It's
huge fan of
like the
raw. I
little
like
ones that you
smoked
get here
oysters.
are fantastic. I mean, like if you're new to oysters, like BC like Kushi oysters are a great like entry into what we've got locally, and then just go nuts. Obviously, watch the seafood warnings. Make sure there's no red tide.
Yeah.
What aspect of food makes you guys the most cringy when it comes to like what is something you can't deal with? Me, it's consistency. Like if something has the consistency of snot, I can't.
You're not into jellies?
I can't get it in my mouth.
Okay, not making oatmeal for you.
Jellies are okay if they're thick enough. Like Jell-O consistency is not snot. Like I'm talking slime. Like if something is slimy, like oh my god, it goes in my mouth and it comes back out. It's not. There's no chewing. There's gagging. It's gross.
That was one of my grandma's cures when you were sick. She would like pile you under
Snot.
many blankets, and then she'd feed you. I don't know what it was. I don't know, but some sort of hot snot-like liquid that was somewhat salty in a cup. And it was supposed to, I don't know, cleanse you or something, or like coat your insides, but it was honestly,
Did it work?
if I could imagine that she gathered that much snot from humans, that she could, I would think that's what that was. I don't know what it was.
Maybe.
No,
it was okay.
I mean, I survived whatever I had, but
Yeah.
I probably would have survived anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Do you have one, Sam?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's salad that was dressed like an hour before it was served,
Oh, yeah.
and it's got no
Oh.
texture left. It's all
just-
like just
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
wilty.
terrible.
bothers me
So
so
consistency.
much. Consistency, yeah.
I think when-
Also, just things that are flavorless. If there's no like
Oh.
seasoning to them, not just salt. Like there has to be a backbone to it. Like,
Yeah.
If it's flavorless, then okay, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, old salad's bad.
That's a hard pass for you.
I don't know.
There's nothing? You're
I
just
did-
like, I'll just eat it, man. I'll eat
No,
it, bro.
I definitely would.
This is
I'd be-
experience. Engage fuel.
I think I would try anything, but would
Yes.
I actively seek out feet? No.
Feet?
Yeah.
Feet. I don't
Oh,
like
so
feet.
like, wait, is it then seeing something? Is it characteristic? Is it the separation of like
it
animal
definitely for
from
me-
meat
It
kind of thing?
definitely is, because I have a reaction like when I know that I'm eating the animal. If I can see the eyeballs or the teeth or the feet, those are sort of the things that hit me the most.
Huh.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Yeah, I
So-
would agree with you.
If it has teeth and those teeth are going inside me, I just start to worry about the nightmares, the teeth nightmares I'll have later, where I'm just like cutting a tree and then there's teeth inside the tree.
Oh.
And then, no, you don't have that one? Everyone has that nightmare.
The teeth in the tree?
Teeth
That
in the
old
tree?
stick.
Yeah, right? No?
No! Like what?
It's like that type of ovarian cyst
There you go.
that has teeth and hair in it.
Yes, I
Yes.
read about these.
Gnarly.
Don't eat those.
Gross.
A really uncomfortable Margaret Atwood short story all about that.
Oh, good.
Okay,
She
so
would, that monster.
you brought up an interesting thing, like the reality check of food with like seeing the form, sort of like a bird fetus with blot, and you don't like seeing like eyeballs or feet or whatever. Like if you can tell that it's a certain part. So
But we need to know that that's where our food comes from, but I also don't want to look it in the eyes very much.
okay, do
yeah.
you guys have has there been any moments in life where what you've learned either through a documentary or from word of mouth about cultivation of food in our society nowadays that has changed the way you eat?
Good question.
A lot of things have made me want to change the way I eat.
But want to, but choose not to, right?
It's just
I mean,
really
that's
good
why
to
it's
eat.
important to really research your food. Like here, we use Two Rivers because they use some incredible farmers across BC and Alberta to get us really high quality protein that's looked after. So you're not getting a battery chicken all the time. Like,
I really appreciate that about when Sam is cooking for us, you know, because we have a food truck on the lot and it's an amazing, and we are so fortunate and lucky that you're here with us. But that you're really honest about, you know, the ingredients that you use, and you work really hard to source stuff that's as sustainable as possible, that you know where it comes from, and that all of our stuff is fresh and as local as we can do, right? And that makes such a difference to the quality of
it does.
our well-being, and that you're also concerned about our intestinal health. You know, sometimes you know, just having a chat in the kitchen and Sam will be like, yeah, it's really important to maintain your, you know, just full body health with what you put in it.
Yeah.
a little bit of fiber.
There's actually a documentary I'm just remembering, which was about fish farming and just about the whole system of fisheries, which definitely got me thinking. And I always get wild salmon, and I try to just eat. At home, I don't eat very much meat in general, or salmon or anything like that. Pretty much vegetarian when I'm at home.
Oh.
Because I do very much love the creatures, and I know if I were out there with like a hatchet or a hammer or whatever I needed to do to kill the animal, I wouldn't be able to do it. So it seems very
Really?
controversial.
You don't think you could kill an animal and then cook it
If
and
I
eat it
were
yourself?
starving, I probably could, but if it were like here's
Oh,
a
yeah.
carrot, here's a bunny, I would choose the carrot.
If you're starving in the woods, you're gonna kill some shit. Like,
Yeah,
But,
You
but
would.
even if you
but
lived
there's-
in the woods, you wouldn't. You're saying if you lived
also
in the woods,
using
and you could
all
farm.
the parts
yeah,
of the
I
animal,
would.
too.
I would not. Yeah, I would choose other things for sure, because there's lots of great proteins that you can get from other sources, and I would definitely do that. Back to your subject on seasonal foods, salmon berries. They are in my birth month.
Salmon
and
berries?
I love salmon berries.
Interesting.
Not a lot of people know about them
So
because
good.
they're local and they're not sold in stores. And yeah, I grew up as a little kid. My mom would push me through the forest and like throw salmon berries in my mouth. So I feel like it's literally part of my body and my body makeup. And I can always tell how early or late the season is, depending on when they're ripe around my birthday. So I
oh,
love
that's
salmon
really
berries.
cool. Yeah. Wait, when's your birthday? you
In
don't-
May, end of May.
Okay. Okay.
So sometimes they used to be like just kind of green, maybe one or two of them ripe for my birthday, and then a few years they were like all ripe, season almost ending, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? And this year, you know, somewhere in the middle. So
Ah,
Yeah,
interesting.
always be grateful to my parents for teaching me about like the plant life in the area and what you can eat and what has other uses.
I've never really been aware of that, other than I was able at a younger age, and now I don't think I could really do it. But
Yeah, I went to like camp at school and
Rhubarb.
I'd be like picking berries and eating them, and the like counselor would be like, "Oh, don't eat it. You don't know what that is." I'm like, "It's this.
it's fine.
It's just a huckleberry."
yeah. Oh, that's the best. You tell tourists they're poisonous, and then you have them all to yourself.
I wanted to talk about that with, especially, you know, we're all storytellers, and so we write food into our own stories. But there's the good side of what's going on in the area and how much research do you do to tell, like, what's the menu at the tavern. But then there's also the dangerous things out in the wild, and how much research do you do to also lay some traps in your storytelling for either your players or just the characters in your stories that are like, that thing, toxic. But they don't know, ha ha ha. You know, I don't know, like, how much research do you do if you're gonna lay out a adventure for players or your characters?
I mean, personally, like I have a lot of experience with like foraging, butchering animals, and knowing what to do with like fish or deer, like the whole 9 yards.
Wait,
So
you're
I can
also
get-
a butcher?
I'm not technically a butcher, but in school and in various restaurants that I've been in, we brought in whole proteins, like primal cuts, or literally two entire deer,
Oh.
and gotten to break those down into the primals and then into their separate cuts from there.
Oh, sweet.
And it's a wonderful process. Like you really connect with the food then, and like getting every last bit of it out, making the stock from the bones, using the blood for like sausages and things like that, if you can, and like really getting the full experience of the animal. It's very, very important. So having that experience, I can translate that really well into my games. And with, excuse me, a little parched.
A little wafer in there. Yeah.
It's wafer thin.
Waffle.
They're still dry.
Yeah, like, so I'm nearing the end of my Eberron campaign that we've been running for 2.5 years now. And each of the regions I assign like a different food culture to. So like in Breland, it's very much like English. So like you have boiled food and it's like, yeah, what's this? Okay, mushy peas, that's all right. Fish, go, cool. And then you go to Andere and it's just full on Paris and you're walking the streets and you've got this incredible like patisserie and bread, the smell, like that fresh smell that's coming out. And then you have like simple stuff like pot au feu, like just a simple boiled meal. So yeah, it translates really, really well. And it helps engage your players too. So like we've got a barbarian in our group who is just all about food. And whenever we find something new, she's in it. And like other party members like keep snacks on them so that if she's like feeling down or something, someone will pull a snack out and just be like, feel better.
Everyone's got that friend, right?
Yeah,
Who's like,
right?
you're like, oh, I'm seeing you start, oh, sugar levels dropping. You're like, throw food at them, it's gonna go badly. Yeah.
Are you that friend?
No, I'm not. But I did go on a road trip with a friend where it was crucial that you kept an eye on things.
Oh.
Yes.
Or
Or it would not be a fun road trip anymore. It would be
swings
terrible.
kind
It
of
would be
thing?
terrible.
Just rooting it for everyone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
do you guys have a most memorable meal or dining experience?
Ooh, there's so many.
Or like best thing you've ever eaten? Which I'm
goodness.
actually having a really hard time thinking of it myself because like if I have any questions like that, I'm like,
In the top 5, I would say I went to Nightingale Restaurant here in Vancouver. It's on like Hastings, just past Burrard. And I'm allergic to blue cheese, but I love blue cheese. Like my grandfather used to like cut up like gorgonzola, put
what's
it on
your
top
allergic?
of
What's
like,
your reaction?
I get like really tired and
I mean, that's a
lethargic
small price to pay for blue
and-
cheese. Just
well,
getting tired,
I mean,
it's
there's
like
other
screw it.
issues too, but
Oh, okay.
it's
But,
not great.
you know,
It's
he's
not
not
a good
sharing
thing to do,
polite
but there's a
company.
few things where I will just go, yeah, because like fresh figs with gorgonzola and honey, holy yeah, amazing. But at Nightingale, you can get a hanger steak, so like this cheaper cut of steak that you can like reverse sear doing like a sous vide method to make it awesome. And then what they do is they have this compound butter with blue cheese in it, and they put that on top of the finished steak and torch it into it.
Oh.
And it's absolutely incredible.
Look at Matt's face.
Tell me more, wizard.
Yeah, there's some really incredible restaurants here in Vancouver. Like the dish that I served today was a play on a dish that I tasted from Chef Trevor Bird, who runs Fable. And I remember going to Fable because I used to work at Refuel, which is fuel, and like that's in the same space that Fable is now on West 4th, just past Cypress.
All right.
And I was like, oh wow, like it's the same, but it's different. This is really cool. And there I tried his like seared duck breast with like roasted toasted walnuts, pickled grapes, and stuff like that. And that was the first time I'd ever had a pickled grape, and I was like, this is great. Of course, you can pickle anything, like
You can pickle anything. You can pickle mine to it.
whatever you want, and it changes the
That'll
flavor
be a
profile.
meme later.
Yeah.
So
You can
yeah,
pickle
I'd say
anything.
like
You
that's
can
in
pickle
my
anything.
top right there. Those 2 dishes.
Oh, interesting. Natasha, do you have
Depends
a top?
on how hungry I was, for sure.
Oh, that makes a huge difference, though, right?
does. It
Like
really
sometimes
does.
you can eat something you've had a million times, but if you're hungry enough, it's like
Yeah.
this is the best.
Also, if you're camping, it's always good. You're like,
Yeah,
Safeway croissant, burnt on a fire, amazing.
it's true. Camping, when you cook it over like a campfire, you can have like, and it can be shitty. Like
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, this looks like, but it's the best.
It's the best.
Like that's so weird.
Hot
Yeah,
dogs,
no, the
kind of
the
gross.
fire element
Over
is
a
really-
campfire,
yeah,
amazing.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, when I worked at Refuel, I got the opportunity to work with UBC Farms, and we had like a spit roast going out in UBC, and you could hear the wolves in the distance like howling because they can smell this from like miles away, right?
What?
Wow.
And
Wait,
yeah,
sorry, at UBC?
at UBC Farms.
You could hear wolves?
We could hear wolves in
Is
the
there
background.
wolves in the endowment lands?
There must be, because we heard them howl. Or maybe it's coyotes.
It's probably coyotes.
Yeah.
But they don't howl, usually.
dang.
They make like a...
There was definitely
they
some
can howl.
howling.
Yeah?
Oh my God, we had so many coyotes all over the place where I lived growing up, and like a lot of it's yipping.
Yeah.
But that they do some howling as well.
Oh, okay. They yip when they hunt. They do like I used to live in a spot in North Burnaby that had, there was a pack, and I was in an apartment building, and they would run through our like parking lot, and I could see them. This is just way off topic, but there was
Running
like,
through the parking lot.
there was 30 of them.
Okay, that's a lot.
It was a lot of coyotes. It was crazy. We could
That's a
count them.
lot.
It was like, holy crap. But like they make, yeah, I just made the sound. It's nuts. It's like and they
Pretty good.
they do that to like scare things out,
That's right.
and then they circle and like I was watching it. It was wild. to see.
Tactics.
When I'd be walking around at night, growing up in all the fields, you could totally just see all the coyote eyes just glinting when you're walking down the side of the road at night. And we're always watching.
That's
But they're
horrifying.
coyotes, so who cares? Except for those ones that have bred with wolves and kill people. But that was like, yips.
I had a coyote, a single coyote, attack me one time. Like it was attacking me and didn't succeed. But I was drunkenly riding my bike home from a friend's house, and I was just like, it's like 2 in the morning, and I'm just, and as I'm starting to go down this hill, I see something at the corner of my eye, and I was like, what? And I turn, and it's mid-air coyote with its mouth open. It's like, ah! And I went, and then the noise that I made was not like macho at all. And it was just panicked. There's a, and it was that close. And it decided to turn at the last second, and I just pedaled and got the
It
hell out
has
of
a terrible story of it's like, not delicious.
Yeah, exactly. That's a coyote food story right there.
Right?
Oh, it's absolutely
Yeah, it's like
horrifying.
I almost had the snack. Gross. It was weird.
It made a weird sound.
made a weird
Just
sound.
dropped out of the sky.
I think one of my favorite things that happened to me as a kid was the first time that I was fishing, and I was really bad. So I was like, I caught another snail, guys, and it was like, but the first time that I was hanging out with some other kids, and someone caught their first fish,
Oh.
and we were all like, oh, we caught our first fish. And then we went back to a campfire, and we, did it ourselves, and we cooked it over the fire. And I was like, this is gonna be so gross. And then I put it in my mouth, and I was like, I don't even like fish that much, and this is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And we had done a little bit of butter and just some pepper, and it was so simple. And I think because we worked for it, and there was just this moment together as like, you're hot, sweaty, covered in mosquitoes, and you're out in the bush together.
Is that your most memorable food experience?
It's definitely up there. Like, it stays with me because I feel like
Clearly.
transported out of the moment of being like, I don't remember the kids. I don't remember what part of the lake we were on. I don't, like, all that kind of stuff. Like, what year was it? I don't know. All I remember is that I had this moment of being like, this is going to be gross. And instead, I'm just
delicious.
having a heavenly moment by myself here.
And
with
yet
this, like,
you saw it
piece
with
of-
its eyes.
I did, yeah.
Ah.
I saw it gasping for its last breath, and I was still like, oh. And it was like served to me on like rusty, gross tinfoil with dirt in it. Like, it was good. But my favorite experience is probably the first time that when Matt and I moved to Vancouver, and he wanted to cook for friends of his from Mexico, and so he wanted to do like a whole meal, but it was like a weekend of food because to cook for that one meal, he created so much. Just like so many beans and salsas and other types of sauces and horchata and all these things that
Damn,
like
dude.
the whole weekend, every meal
Mexican
was like
food's my specialty.
Oh, okay.
every meal after that was a leftover with components of the first night's meal.
Well, hell yeah. With all that
right.
effort, it better be.
So, and I was like, I didn't even know what we were getting into when I was like, this is so much work. The slow cooker's going, the oven is going, and then leading up to the dinner, I was just like, my whole apartment is this food and this meal, and I'm just, and then the rest of the weekend was a delightful meal in the evening with people who just wanted stuff that was flavors from home, and it was really lovely and the experience was great, but then every meal after it that was the components of all the leftovers, I was like, I could eat this on tacos, and then I can eat this with fried eggs, and then I can eat this.
Chilaquiles the next morning.
Yep,
Oh my God.
definitely. That's the dream. You always you make enough so that it will last the next one, because it's always going to pick up new flavor profiles as it sits, marinades, and builds, and then it just gets better and better until
Like turkey
it's
sandwiches
not-
are better than turkey dinner.
And
Every
I
time.
think because I've never been somebody who
Cold
likes
pizza.
Yeah.
I don't like the effort of cooking large meals.
That's fair.
I grew up in a family where my mom would be the person to always had to host Christmas dinner for our 30 family members.
Oh.
And I was the roll meatballs, cut swan tomatoes. You're on this. And Christmas was always get your presents unwrapped because you're on cleaning and
time
you're
to
on
work.
this. Yeah, and my mom was wonderful about it. My sister also put in so much effort, and everybody in the
Gene.
family. Hi, Gene. Everybody would have to contribute, but it was a really just that Barbie looks great, kid, but we got shit to do. And so everybody would always come to our place, and it was so fun, and I love all my family, and watching Leah lick butter off of buns and not eat anything else. Really inspired.
What was most memorable or favorite, best food you've ever eaten?
Well, I think food is always really emotional, like you guys are talking about. Much like music, food kind of touches some of our emotions, memory, culture, family, all those kind of relationships are in there. So yeah, there's a lot of that, but just really tasty, delicious stuff. When you've worked hard, I was woofing with 3 of my very closest friends in Greece after high school, and at every lunchtime we would go up and they would just make this amazing meal for us.
Whoa.
And all of the
Close
things
call.
that we had were, from the farm, and so that was amazing. The olives and the tomatoes and all those kind of things from there, and fresh tuna from around there. So amazing, amazing meal. Thank you to Jen who ran that woofing. And
Are you saying woofing?
woofing, worldwide organic, I don't know, organization of
Federation?
farming, something. So yeah, it's volunteer farmers on different organic farms around the world. So you can go there, and usually the trade-off is you get somewhere to live and you get food, and then you farm for them. So us, 18-year-olds know nothing about farming, and we just hacked at the ground a bit and found some scorpions, and then they gave us food. So that was
Found some scorpions.
Oh yeah.
You buried the lead, my friend.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
eat scorpion?
Did I eat scorpion? No, we did not eat the scorpion. We just kind of scared them away. But
they
I mean, my travel
big?
journals are almost always just food. It's
cooked you.
I bury the lead all the time. It's oh yeah, he had this great sandwich everywhere we went.
And
Spain and France and
that was the
Greece,
day
all
almost
these
done.
amazing things. Everything. Oh, we hiked for 25 kilometers, and we had this amazing lunch with blah 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 prosciutto. Amazing. And I got bitten by a dog and lost both my passports next day.
Wait, before we only have a few seconds left.
We do.
I
It's
know,
fine.
But Natasha has a very controversial
Oh my God!
theory.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know if
didn't
we have
get to
time
this
to get
yet.
into this.
We have to start.
Let's get into it. No. Okay.
really quick.
So
You can't just open the can and then be like, no, don't
let's.
look
We're
inside.
going to open the can. We're going to get into it because the people at home need to know. Because this is an important thing, and it's Natasha has a take on food that personally I'm on board with. So if
she's
you
wrong.
want to tell the people at home your classification of what all food falls under,
All right.
tell that, Cam.
All right, all meals are either a salad or a sandwich, and I will fight you.
Oh gosh.
Oh, you don't want to beef it out.
What is lasagna?
Lasagna.
Sandwich.
Ooh. Yeah.
Sandwich. Totally
It's
a sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
Yeah, it's a sandwich.
Yeah.
It's got okay. Sandwiches are basically a delivery system where there's something palatable to hold to deliver
hold
food to your
lasagna.
mouth.
Wait, does that
Taco
mean steak
is a
frites is a
sandwich.
salad?
Steak frites. First, explain what this is.
Oh, steak and fries.
Steak and fries. Steak and
Salad.
fries is a salad.
Yeah,
yes.
there's nothing
It's
to
a
hold it
salad.
with. Yeah,
It's
you
a
eat it with a
salad,
fork
yeah.
and knife. If you're, I mean, lasagna you eat with a fork and knife too, but there's it's sandwiched.
Yeah.
I get that. That I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
But-
You're on board with?
Well, no. I get lasagna being a sandwich. That makes sense to me. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing some thumbs down. But see, okay, here's the thing. If Wurstsalat can be a salad, which is literally shredded wieners in a pile, That is a food of my people.
It's Pride Month. Hello.
Shredded wheat. I mean, typically shredded isn't good.
I don't
I
know.
mean, it's the end of Pride Month, so yeah, they're a little
They're
shredded.
shredded now.
Oh my God. Shout out to some of my family in Hessen that really favor the Wurstsalat when you go to the locale with them. And it's just shredded wieners on a plate.
It's a salad.
It's a salad. They call it a salad. It's on the menu. It's called a salad.
I mean,
so
have you
if
been
that
to the
can be a
States?
salad,
Anything
then
can be a salad in the States. You add like
Yeah.
mayonnaise, it's a salad.
Exactly.
You add Jello, it's a salad.
1950s, they had what was called a
Aspic?
Coke salad, which was just Jello, which was made with Coke in it.
Cocaine or Coca-Cola?
Both.
Probably both.
Oh, okay.
And some
Disgusting.
pineapple, and then you turn it into a jelly, and maybe there's a fruit or two in there. I don't
We
know.
have a redemption before we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about soup?
Salad.
Soup is a salad.
100%.
Because, bear with me,
Yeah.
gazpacho is a soup. Gazpacho, arguably cold soup, is just a very finely cut salad with lots of dressing. Therefore, if that is a soup,
That's not
everything
true at all.
else,
But
everything else follows from there. Is just a soup is a salad with lots of dressing.
Yes.
I hate it, but I understand.
It makes perfect sense. Like, I make stew a lot, and stew is just a bunch of ingredients with a lot of sauce.
Yeah.
Like a lot of sauce.
There's also like lots of warm salads, like potato salad.
If you can make pasta salad,
Exactly. Then obviously
then pasta is all pasta salad.
spaghetti. It's all a salad.
It's all
exactly.
salad.
I love Thai salads.
You just
They all
argued
come
that
with hot
lasagna
meat
is
and
a
just
sandwich.
Like some lettuce.
You know what? I would say that lasagna is both a sandwich and a salad.
It crosses the line. You found
it's a bit of both, which is fine with me. It can be both.
It's the great uniter.
Yeah, it's the beautiful.
It's the great uniter.
It's the great uniter.
Oh, that's nice. Oh wait, I need to find my
Okay, can we
proper.
have Natasha back to fight about this some other time?
Yes, we can. We could do it on Nerd
Nerd
Fight.
Fight!
We could do it on Nerd Fight.
Yeah, I have notes.
There it is.
So I'm prepared.
Oh damn! I'm
got
so sorry I
notes.
didn't get to it earlier.
That's fine.
There's a lot we didn't get to. There's a lot we didn't get to. But we are unfortunately out of time. It goes by really quick. Yeah, we didn't get to 3 of the mystery boxes. You know what? Rip one open. Go for it if you want. We'll eat it. Okay, so coming up next week on our comedy channel, we've got the Try Not to Laugh challenge. Actually, that came out today. We have one on our channel and one on the Convos with our 2-year-olds channel. There's 2 rounds, both shot here. They're already out, so you can check those out. Next week on Comedy Channel is Premature COVID, and on the main channel, Witchcraft Labs Part 4 of our Fantasy Creature Ears, and Tuesday on Twitch, Episode 2 of our new D&D campaign, Shadows of Blood. So tune in for that, 3:30 in the afternoon, going to 6:30, 3 hours long. Woo, woo. If you haven't seen Episode 1 yet, check that out. That's on YouTube now. You can still watch it on Twitch. Other than that, next week, Thursday, more Filthy Talk. We do it every week. So tune in next time. Until then, stay filthy. Oh,